Good morning, church. I'm Fr.Jim from the Diocese of Lexington, Kentucky. I'm the youngest of 5 children. I'm 51 years old. Before I became a priest, I was a performing artist. I did my undergraduate work at New England Conservatory of Music and the Juilliard School, was on Broadway for a while, and then I made the flip-flop to priesthood. I was pastor and the only priest at one of our larger parishes for the past 12 years. I've had a school, a Hispanic community, and a college that I oversaw. And then 3 years ago, this past November, my life kind of took a drastic turn. I was sitting at my desk, minding my own business, when I felt someone staring at me. Have you ever felt someone staring at you before? Hello, good morning, hello. Can't be asleep already, my gosh. Have you ever felt someone staring at you? Yeah, so I looked up, and in my face, white as a ghost, was my secretary, Kelly. And I just kind of looked up and she said, "Fr.Jim." And I said, yes? She said, "Pick up the phone." And I said, what for? She said, "You have a phone call." And I'm like, duh. Who is it? She said, "It's the Pope." And I went, right. Yeah, sure it is. And she said, "No, Fr.Jim, pick up the phone. It's Pope Francis." And I said, "I ain't picking up the phone, okay?" She said, "No, pick up the phone." I said, "Kelly, we have worked together for 11 and a half years, okay? I know the games you play, okay? We're not picking up the phone." And she slammed her hands on the desk and she said, "Pick up the phone." So this is exactly what I did. I picked up the phone and I went, "Yo, who's there? Talk to me, baby, talk." And it was Pope Francis. And the Holy Father had informed me that he had named me one of 100 in the United States, one of 700 in the world, as one of his papal missionaries. And so he called all of us, the 700 of us priests, to Rome, and we gathered in a church like this. And unbeknownst to 4 of us who were present, 4 would be selected to live with Pope Francis. Pope Francis does not live in that big apostolic palace. You know that window you see him lean out of? Pope Francis has chosen to live in a 300-room dormitory called the Doma Santa Martha, the house of Saint Martha. And so they brought a basket forward, and Monsignor picked the first of the 4 names, and he opened it up and said, "From the United States of America, Fr.Jim Sitchko." And I jumped up and screamed, "That's me! I won! That's me!" And all the other 699 priests looked like some of you. But I'm going to be honest with you. If you follow me on Facebook or social media, on Twitter or Instagram, you know the one thing that I love to do is I love taking selfies. I love it. This is my first ever visit to Orlando and Winter Park. I've never been in this area before. I am got to get a selfie with Mickey. I'm just telling you right now, I am destined. And so I was like, wow, how many people can say they have a selfie with the Pope, you know? And so they took the 4 of us over to the Doma Santa Martha, and the first thing they had us do was sign paperwork. So I'm signing the paper. I don't even know what it says. It's in Latin. I don't even read Latin. I'm just signing the paperwork. I said to them, "What does this say?" And they said that you will take no pictures while you live in this house. I was devastated. I went upstairs, moved into the second floor, came downstairs to the first floor, went to the cafeteria, the refectory, had round tables that sat 4 people, cafeteria buffet in the back. I got my food. I sat down at a table with 2 others, the Cardinal of the Congo in Africa. To the right of me was the Cardinal of Venezuela, myself at an empty seat. And all of a sudden the door opened, and who came out carrying his own tray of food, looking for a place to sit down, but Pope Francis. And he kept looking, and I was like, oh dear Lord, no, do not, no, look people, look, I'm from Kentucky, we eat with our hands, all right? Finger licking good, KFC, And I'm like, oh dear Lord, do not sit next to me. And he came and he sat right down. And whenever I'm back at the house, he and I have either breakfast, lunch, or dinner together. And I'll never forget that morning. It was a Thursday morning. I was leaving Rome Fiumicino's airport. I was walking down the hall of the house at 4 in the morning with my luggage. And who was walking on the opposite side at 4 in the morning going to the chapel to pray but Pope Francis? We met at the elevator. I kissed his ring, and he looked at me and he said, United States. And I said, yes, Your Holiness, I am from the United States. And he said, eats with your hands. And I said, yes. I said, that's me. And he said, where are you going? And I said, Pope Francis, I'm going to travel the world to preach the good news as your missionary. And he grabbed me. And eye to eye, we met. And in that deep Argentinian voice in English, he said to me, pray for me. And he said again, he said, pray for me. And then my brothers and sisters of Winter Park, Florida, of Orlando, he did something that I never, ever, ever expected and still can't believe to today. He took off that white little beanie that he wears, it's called a zaquetto, and he gave it to me. And he said, you take this wherever you go, and you remind the people of God that God loves them, that God's mercy is theirs, and that God will never, ever, ever abandon them. And then he pushed the down button to the elevator. And I kind of looked around for any Swiss guards, any security. I kind of looked up for any cameras. And I said, Pope Francis. And he said, yes. I said, can I have a selfie? Yeah, there it is. There it is. There we are. That's right. Yeah, and wait. And I just got back from being at the house. Hold on, here's our latest one. There we are. There we are. And so I came back to the United States, and my bishop, who's a brand new bishop, 49 years old, Franciscan, wears nothing but his habit and his sandals. The first thing he did when he became bishop is he sold the bishop's house for $800,000 and moved into a 1-bedroom apartment with other priests next door. And he said to me, he said, Father, how would you like to travel not only as a full-time papal missionary, but how would you like to travel as a full-time Catholic evangelist? And I said, I'll do it. And he was like, all right. And I said immediately right there, my brothers and sisters, without any thinking, I said to him, if you allow me to travel the world as a papal missionary and as a full-time evangelist, I will not take any salary, I will not take any living expense, I will not take any insurance or food allowance. I will go town to town, state to state, nation to nation, preaching the good news of Jesus Christ and living solely off the goodness of others. And don't worry, people, I ain't taking up a collection, all right? I can already see the hair rising on the... And so that's what I do. You know, last week I was in Rome, then I was in Kentucky, and then Louisiana. This week I'm in Florida. On Thursday morning I'm in Los Angeles. On Friday I'm back to Tennessee. Then I'm in Missouri. Then I go to the Philippines. Kumusta pare mabuti salamat po over there. There they are. And then from the Philippines, I'll go to Vietnam, and then I'll go to China, then I'll come back to the United States, to Nebraska, town to town, state to state, nation to nation, preaching the good news of Jesus Christ. And so what brings me here? Beginning tomorrow, Monday, from 7 to 8 p.m., Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, for 60 minutes only, I'm going to be preaching in this parish church. And let me tell you something, people of St. Margaret Mary, don't you leave me in this church by myself. No, I'm not joking. Oh, Father, we didn't know there was going to be a mission. You do now. Oh, well, Father, we have children. Good. Bring your children to church. Oh, well, Father, we eat at 7 o'clock. Good. Eat at 8 o'clock and I'll join you. Oh, well, I'm not joking. Well, Father, I don't know if you know or not, but it's supposed to get down into the 60s and the 40s. And we don't function like that here in Florida. Good. Get a jacket. Okay. Well, Father, I don't know if you know, but I don't drive at night. Good. Father James will pick you up, okay? Stop the excuses and get yourself to church. The Lord gives us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And you're seriously telling me you can't give back 60 minutes for Jesus? Really? You're telling me that your life is so busy, so hectic, that you can't give back 60 minutes for the man who hung on a cross, who died from blunt force trauma, asphyxiation, and a lack of blood for you and for me? Really? My brothers and sisters, what are you doing here this morning? Do you really think, and if you really think, that just being at Mass every week and is going to assure you heaven, let me tell you something. You're going to be in the smoking section for eternity. There's more to church than just being at Mass. It's taking what you receive at Mass and bringing it out into the world. It's being Christ to the world. I will guarantee you this, my brothers and sisters. If you take the 60 minutes out of your day, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, if you get yourself and sacrifice and get yourself to this church, I will guarantee you, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 7 to 8 p.m., that God will bless you, your family, and this church 100,000 times over. And how can I make that guarantee? Because I travel the world and I see it. How can I make that guarantee? Because I live it. How can I make that guarantee? Because I have faith in Jesus Christ in the Eucharist. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 7 to 8 p.m., 60 minutes for Jesus. I look forward to seeing you after Mass. Not after communion, after Mass. I'll be in the back there, so anyone coming out after communion, you're going to be ushered right back into the church. You know, I'm very spontaneous. That's what scares the hierarchy about me. What is your name, son? What is your name? Yes. What is it? Jack, come here for just a second. Come here, brother. You have a great smile. You were paying attention during the homily. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you something that most people never have received. I'm going to give you a blessing, especially from Pope Francis today, that God's blessings and mercy may be yours now and forever. Amen. You look good there, brother. Like that. Good. God bless you.